Hey, it's Heather, and today is a very good day for an adventure in gardening. I'm doing a little work at the potting bench today, getting ready for my cutting garden. This part of the garden is where I grow plants that are specifically to be cut and put in vases and brought inside. And I love to bring flowers inside. So every year there's something in the cutting garden to look forward to. So some of the things that I'm going to be planting today is this very tall marigold. Hopefully I'll have a picture of it to share with you. And then another one, that marigold is a great cutting flower. And Gomphrena fireworks. Here's this little excellent drying flower, as well as for cutting and putting in vases, and it looks great in the garden. Gomphrena fireworks. I have some zinnias that I just stashed them all in plastic bags, but I must have been having a really good day when I put the ageratum, this is a tall blue ageratum, and also Amaranth Love Lies Bleeding. I put those where they're supposed to go in their little envelopes. But by far my most favorite flower for cutting is a flower that could possibly let you win friends and influence people. Okay, maybe not win friends, but definitely make friends and influence people. I think you can. So let me tell you about dahlias. Dahlias are an awesome flower to grow in the garden. I fell in love with dahlias when I was a teenager, and my grandmother would grow the dinner plate dahlias, and literally the blooms on the dinner plate dahlias would be as big as your head. They were just breathtaking and really striking in the garden. They were the kind of flower that drew you in because you wanted to know what it was, or you wanted to see if it was real because they were so big. Now there's many different kinds of dahlias. They're not all dinner plate dahlias, but they are just a beautiful kaleidoscope array of blooms, and I collect them. I think I tend to do that with a lot of things that I love. I want all the colors or all the styles. So how does this help you to win friends and influence people? Well, I'll tell you my story. When we moved into this house, I definitely wanted to have a roadside presence, and I put a garden right on the road and a white picket fence and a rose hedge on the outside of the fence, and there basically is something in color or something interesting looking all the time. But right on the inside of that fence is where I do plant all of my dahlias, right by the road. So whether people are walking or biking or driving in a car, you're gonna see those dahlias. And everybody wants to talk to the person who grows the flowers. Everybody. And honestly, that's exactly what I want. I want to meet people. I want to talk to people. I want them to say, hey, nice flowers. And then I'll be like, hey, thanks. Do you like flowers, or do you grow flowers? And then I make friends that way. So most days, if I feel like I want to talk plants with people, I'll just go into the front yard and stand there and wait. And if nobody comes, then I'll look like I'm doing something and somebody will come along. And I've met the most wonderful people in my own front yard, and we talk plants, whether they're gardeners or not. So I actually hesitated on whether I would give you all advice or share how I take care of the dahlias or not. And I thought, this is my way. You don't have to do it, and it works for me. But I'm gonna tell you, because I have to take some shortcuts sometimes, because see, there's this guy that lives here that expects 3 meals a day. 3. So I'm pretty busy, and if I can cut corners, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But first, all of you dahlia people out there, man, you know how to do it right, and I love you guys. I just want to say that. But this works for me, and if it works for somebody else, then great. because sometimes people will say, oh, I love those dahlias, tell me about them. And I'll be like, okay, they're great. They're like these potato-like tubers that you plant in the spring, and you stake the plants when they get tall. And then in the fall, after the frost hits them, you're gonna leave them for about a week, and then you're gonna dig them up and bring them inside, and then their eyes start to glaze over a little bit. And then I don't know how many people have ever grown dahlias after I talk to them or not, but then there are people who will just buy the dahlias in those little bags in the spring, put them in the ground, and then just leave them out there. And that's fine too. There's no wrong way, but I am invested into my dahlias. So in the fall, after the frost hits them and I let them sit in the ground for about a week, I will dig them and I will take them. I have these like Rubbermaid tubs, you know, the old dishpan style tubs that I don't wash all the dirt off. I'll shake most of the dirt off. I do not dig after a rain. It has to be, you know, kind of dry. I don't want the dirt necessarily to be clumping to it, but I'll give them the best shake that I can, and I'll put them in these tubs. And then I'll take the tubs and I'll put them in the basement where it's cool. And our basement ranges around, I guess, about 35 to 40-ish. When I took the dahlias out this spring, it was 38 degrees still down there. So I have a calendar, I've talked about it before, once a month from the time I dig them, which is usually October, November. Once a month I will remind myself, check the dahlias, because if I don't check the dahlias, I might not ever remember that I had dahlias. Or they'll be all shriveled and dead by the time that I find them in the spring. So I go down with a spray bottle and I give them a little spritz if they look dry, or if they start to look shriveled, I'll give them a spritz. And that's all that I do. I don't wash them and wrap them or anything like that. Now, when I'm ready to wake the dahlias up for the season, I will take and lug all of those bins up into the sunroom here and lay them out on the floor, making sure my little bunnies don't eat them. And I'll give them a few days just to acclimate. I'll water them in their little tubs so they're still in their little tubs, and then I'll bring them outside into the greenhouse and let them start to do their thing. Now, one other thing that I do with dahlias is I let them wake up and grow up. They have got to grow a few inches, the little greens. I think I have a photo that I can insert. Because of slugs. If I have slugs in the spot that I put my dahlias, and trust me, I do all the things still, but they're waiting for me to like run out of beer or something. And when I do, then they're like, charge. And if the dahlias are just coming above the soil surface, they will mow over those dahlias, and it'll take forever for them to actually become plants. But if they're, you know, taller when I put them out there in the ground, then the slugs are like, I can't get to the top, or I'll see them climbing and pluck them off and away with them. So I hope this has inspired you to try growing dahlias this year. Fill all the vases in your house with cut flowers. Make every Friday a Flower Friday. Post it on Instagram. Share it with all your friends. Share bouquets with all your friends. And if you're somebody who already grows dahlias and you have tips or tricks of your own, I would love to hear them. I am always open to learning from other gardeners. And as always, thanks for watching, and remember, every day is an adventure. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.